Basketball on that side last night was a party for Indiana as they took on Louisiana and basically just threw a blanket over them. There was a stretch where they were 0 for 25. I don't know what the record in Simon Skjodt Assembly Hall is, and I'd like to know. I know JD will find, well, I think the records are lost past a certain date. That's why last night he sent out that one note that this is where they were going towards the lowest defensive percentage stop since 96, 97, which was, I think, the last time that they have records right now, which was 24% then, 19%. That's just nuts. I mean, I don't care. It always comes against a team that's not great, but I don't care. It's a Division I team, man.
Well, here's the thing, and this is what I do know. Louisiana is a good basketball program. Bob Marlin, the coach, has been there for 12 years. He has won over 200 games at that school. He generally has really good basketball teams. And the one that was playing last night, they had held their first two opponents to less than 50 points a ball game. And they played a game against Xavier of Louisiana before they played Indiana to go 3-0. And that team basically gave them their toughest ball game. But they had also played Alabama in an exhibition game and gave the Crimson Tide, who's a really good basketball program right now, and they gave them all they could handle, a 5-point loss. So you know that this team was capable of playing and being pretty good, but they couldn't shoot it in the ocean against Indiana last night. They had, like you said, they had a stretch of 0 for 25 from the field in the first half and put only 14 points on the scoreboard. That may also be a record from Indiana's perspective, because I don't remember. Well, it wouldn't be a record because back in the day, as you know, they didn't score a lot of points. Right. Back in the 20s, the 10s, back in the early 1900s, they were not putting a lot of points on the scoreboard. But 14 points in this day and age at halftime.
Modern age.
Yeah, that's some kind of a modern record, no question about it. That said, the one thing, and this was interesting because we have Mike on for a post-game interview after every game, and the first thing he talked about were the 27 turnovers. He was not happy with that. So that's interesting too. And here's the other thing. This is the craziest thing. His team turned it over 27 times last night, and he was appalled by that. The first game I did for Indiana in 1973, my first season with IU, the first game I did was against the Citadel. It was my first game with a Bob Knight coach team. And you know how many Indiana won this game by over 20 points. Do you know how many turnovers they had that game?
27.
33. Can you imagine what practice was like the next week for an Indiana basketball team?
I can't imagine what the practice was like that night. What are you talking about?
So you know it's going to be. And Mike, of course, is not coaching like Bob Knight did in the sense of, but his humor does kind of offset you a little bit. I don't think there'll be much humor about 27 turnovers in practice today. Although the best thing for these players is they got another game tomorrow night, so they're not going to have to absorb more than one practice session before.
Yeah, it's so odd to have a game in which the statistics are so glowingly positive, and you have one that is so unbelievably bad with those turnovers. It was kind of weird. Another stat though that looked pretty daggone good was on 28 made shots, 22 assists.
Right.
And that shows ball movement, sharing of the ball. That means the offense is just getting more in sync. And Patrick Stewart kind of put a cap on that with his night, Parker Stewart rather, with the night that he had. And he just looked a lot better, especially trying to get inside the 3-point line, not just trying to shoot from outside, pump faking and get inside. He looked very comfortable shooting the ball last night.
Yeah, Parker really was good last evening. It was his best shooting performance since he's put on a Hoosier uniform. It's what I have expected because I've watched this kid shoot. I saw him last year in practices before games or just when he was out there shooting the basketball when the other team was practicing, when his teammates were practicing last year. He just has such a good looking stroke. I mean, it looks so easy when he shoots it. And last night it started to go in. And I happened to be walking out of the arena last night at the same time Parker was leaving. He had a bunch of cookies with him, and he was excited about the fact he was going to eat cookies when he got back to his apartment. But at any rate, I said, finally they started going in. He says, yeah, I didn't know if that was ever going to come back. But he was pretty happy. And obviously, I think everybody's happy for him because this kid can shoot the basketball. It's just going to be a matter of being consistent with it. But you saw basically what you could see from him most of the rest of this year.
And then another kid that it just jumps off, both of them, Christian Lander. He played 24 minutes last night. No one played more than him than Miller Kopp. And 9 points, 3 of 6 from the field, 2 of 2 at the free throw line. He had 6 rebounds and 6 assists. That's a hell of a night for a guy that this is the same kid we saw last year that when he was on the floor, he was had a deer in the headlights. It's like, holy God, it's like he couldn't wait to get off the floor.
Well, Christian is a kid that last year came to Indiana as a high school senior. I think this is just my personal opinion. I think he could have played high school basketball last year and had a tremendous year for Evansville Rights and come back to Indiana this year and be more mature like he is this year. He's more mature than he was a year ago. He's not nearly the deer in the headlight looks when he gets out there on the floor. He understands Coach Woodson's system pretty well, I think, at this point, based on what we saw last evening. I just think last year was a lost year for him in so many respects. Maybe it helped him grow up, though. Not playing a lot, not being able to sit on the bench and see what other guys are doing. Maybe that helped him. I don't know, but I think he could have benefited as much from having a senior year of high school basketball as he did last season, sitting on a bench and absorbing the kind of season it was at IU. Although maybe that helped him too, realizing that you don't go out there and do what the coaches are asking you to do. You're probably not going to play number one, and number two, you're not going to win like you want to win. So maybe it helped him in both ways. Who knows? It's right now it's a lost situation. It's not anything to worry about. But what we saw from that kid last night was really good.
Well, you get to have a coach's show tonight at 7:05 at Southern Stone with a coach coming off of a win, which is always a lot more fun than the alternative. So that'll be good out there tonight.
Yeah, Mike Woodson, Inside IU Basketball, 7:05 this evening at Southern Stone Restaurant. And Charlie, did you just oversleep or what happened, man?
No, computer, man. I think my computer overslept. Who knows, man? Computer is not cooperating this morning.
I understand.
Charlie's usually always on it, man.
Trusty, I can tell you this much, Charlie. If you even came close to getting it fixed, it's 10 times better than what I would have because I'd have just shut the daggone thing off.
Yeah, we figured it out this morning, so yeah.
Well, Don, I know you got to get going, brother. We appreciate you so much and look forward to hearing you on the broadcast again tomorrow. But tonight, make sure you either tune in or not go to Southern Stone Restaurant at Patterson and Rogers in Bloomington for the Mike Woodson Show at 7:05 Inside IU Basketball with Don Fischer. Well, thank you, sir. We appreciate you.
Yep, we'll talk to you again next Monday.
All right, thank you, Don.
Absolutely.
Hey, guys.